I awoke beneath a yellow sky. Our tent was gone. The scrub was not a windy plain that tossed carriages and military-grade rations about as easily as the straw from horse troughs. The air was so thick that you could almost eat it. There were no sudden movements, blowing away all our teepees without a sound. A swath of deerskin cloaked my bare shoulders as I tried to rid myself of its burdensome weight. Somewhere between my leg, almost tripping Ballant, who was busy racing around camp with piles of sticks and brambles blocking their vision, and kicking the remnants of last night's porridge out of its hot plate, and possibly destroying the device's power crystal, I managed to find the 3 sticks I'd stuck half-heartedly into the ground the night before. I know I'd been a little buzzed from the burnt cider, but how had I slept through the teepee falling on us? I slapped at the empty space on the ground where a warm body had been not 3 hours ago. Now there was only deerskin and scrub, sand and bloody bandages unraveled during the night. Rory? As Ballant came racing back, Liony hot on their heels, I swung the sticks out from under the canopy's drowning embrace. "Careful with that," the loud one shouted. I yawned. Where's Rory? Why are you always the last one up? Even your stalker has been up for hours, Ballant chided, gracefully dancing around the obstacles laid at their feet. We have to go. I yawned again, petting the teepee, watching the fur ripple to attention, only to be smoothed down flat with another stroke of my fingers. It was surprisingly satisfying. Where's Rory? Again with that, the loud one snorted in disgust. He went ahead of us to prepare for our arrival. Now get up. He kicked me with a dirty foot wrapped in dirty bandages. We can't be late to our own party. Lions were creatures of the savannah. Yellow skies and open fields that stretched endlessly across the earth. In less than 5 hours, that yellow was replaced with writhing red and charred black, each fighting against the other for dominance. Frissons cracked between the two, bursting orange and showering sparks. This, the place where we lions called home. Only one ray of yellow remained, cutting through the middle and illuminating a single spot on the border. Soon, the rest of the dismal sky should clear. Piece by piece, the marks left by the enemy should fade, as if nothing had ever happened. The capital's gates were thrown wide. Already, confetti and candy, charged crystals, and grass wreaths were trampled beyond recognition in the carriage ruts. Ugh, the loud one remarked on my left, dancing across a muddy sludge that ruined the new dressings on his bare feet. What a mess. Looks like we already missed the bulk of it. Liony, Ballant cantered past a loaded caravan on their bay mare. The vice commander needs you up front. At last, the loud one disappeared, trying at first to climb the noble's horse before being shuttled off, running flat out on bloody heels to catch up to the front of the lion regiment. Calls and jeers resounded all around him at his desperate pace. Meanwhile, his cutlass rubbed a hole in the tunic spread flat across his back. I watched someone's ale hit the air and splash a purplish color onto his cheeks before turning away from the sight in disgust. Ballant fell into step with me, occasionally circling with a canter and throwing out various trick jumps to entertain the drunken crowd. My eyes peered through the masses lining the road 8 bodies deep, but their faces were smooth, their eye sockets empty. Useless faces. Useless people. Where was Rory? Why, if it isn't the heroes, been waiting all day, and they're not even holding up the head for us to see. Ballant snorted like the loud one, their horse stamping the ground in tandem with her rider. Under their breath, they muttered, as if our commander would ever do something so crass. Among the chatter, this arrogant challenge pointed me to a burlish face, gut too large for the threads holding his waist together, looped rope stretched taut across his middle, dangling an assortment of keys. I reached out from the crowd and yanked on the shiniest trinket, pulling his ale-drenched breath closer to me. "El? El?" Bellant's voice carried after me, but I ignored them, like always. "You gave me a faulty sword, Lizard Breath," I said, unearthing the cracked blade from my hip and holding it aloft. A swift hush fell over the crowd as many drunken fools tried waddling away from us, but found nowhere to go in these dense streets. Giving the blacksmith a wide grin, I spoke through my teeth. "But I'm sure that wasn't on purpose, right?" Despite all the other lions being issued swords infused with carpite. I wonder why I was the only one stuck with tangenite. "Been waiting to talk to you about it, and here you are." I leaned in close, watching the quiver in his veiny eyelids and the blubbering of his breath, weakling. Almost like it was meant to be. "Of course it wasn't on purpose," Lizard Breath's comrade spoke from behind his shoulder, one hand wrapped through the man's halter. "As if that would save anyone from me," I snorted. We'll talk about this later, yeah? You have to get to the feast. Come down to the tunnels any time, yeah? We'll get you a replacement." I paused, eyes switching from the overgrown lizard to his much braver hatchling. Gently pushing the drunkard flat on his feet, I tipped my chin to them both. "Looking forward to it." Without another word, I rejoined the procession. Bellant shook their head, ruining the side tail they'd groomed for 3 hours. "Your lion stalker has better manners than you. Where's Rory?" A hissing sigh was my only answer. Bellant leaned down, hugging their bay's neck, smoothing her braids done up with yellow ribbons. "He'll be at the palace. Just calm down." They readjusted their position, one languid move after another. "You would think the two of you had been separated these past 6 years. You even lived together for sovereign's sake. Your inseparableness makes the rest of our regiment look bad. Are we not all sworn brothers?" I stared up at Bellant with their stupid hair before vaulting into a run. "Hey!" Bellant cursed behind me, the echo of hoofbeats chasing at my heels. Soon enough, I overtook Liony, whose jog had turned into a shambling walk as he tried to balance on his toes, only to return flat to the ground from the pain. Stupid. "Oi, hey!" he shouted, overtaken by me, then nearly ricocheting into Bellant's horse. From the distance, I heard his whiny, insufferable voice call, "Wait for me! Damn it all! I hate you guys! I do!" The cheers grew louder as we moved closer to the palace, the noise rising like the clouds of dirt kicked up by the bay mare's hooves. Soon, the commander's and vice-commander's horses appeared at the butt of the wolves' procession. Boss and Nanny owned the only 2 stallions in the regiment, the only 2 horses decorated in ridiculous golden headsets of chiseled lionite. Anyone could tell they were horses. No tan blanket or jeweled mane would convince anyone that they were facing down a lion. The men riding the fake predators, however, made up for the ridiculous design. They were the real lions. I overtook the boss's steed, leaping across slushy debris and using parked box carts to jump from surface to surface. "Just wait, damn it!" Bellant's voice echoed, closer than I had expected. I felt my canines dig into my bottom lip as the need to go faster raced through my body. The drunken spectators startled in shock at every hay cart I vaulted over, some even letting out surprised squeals that drowned beneath the pumping of my blood. My cheeks twisted, straining, as their shock devolved into awe. "You're going too fast!" The loud one was not so loud from this distance. "Don't you dare greet the king before the commander!" Bellant yelled, voice broken into several different pieces, but I got the gist of it. I cantered up one of the infantry's armored carts, startling the wolf sitting atop it, busy waving at the crowd. Digging my foot into his back, I propelled myself through the air, flipping twice before landing on the back of a gray mare. Both the stunned horse and rider veered, racing straight into the crowd. I leapt off easily, jumping forward at least 20 steps. Bellant and Lione alternated broken echoes far behind my desk. Elle! Elle!